You talked about win or learn, never lose. For those people who aren't here, the kids who weren't able to make it, explain what that is exactly.
So win or learn, like there's always a lesson in everything, right? A lot of people say you win or you lost, right? There's always a lesson to be learned in every loss. So, what lesson is that? If you didn't win a game or you didn't win out in a position, right? It's always important to go back and figure out what happened, what did not necessarily what you did wrong, but what could you have done different to get better results. And I think that's an important lesson for kids, especially really competitive kids who think winning is the end all. Because if they don't get the lesson out of why they weren't successful at that particular task, then they're bound to do it again. So when I tell kids to win or learn, it's if you win, also study why you won. But if you weren't successful at that task, go back and figure out why you weren't, so next time you can be successful.
Do you remember a time when you were younger when maybe in your head it was a win or a loss and you weren't learning from the mistakes? And when did it maybe click in your head that I can learn from this, as opposed to just dwelling on it like I did something bad or did something wrong?
I'll tell you the biggest lesson that I talk about. It was in my professional career. It was actually the first team that I got to play for in the NBA, or got an opportunity with. After college, I wasn't drafted, but the Denver Nuggets brought me into camp. And I went through camp, and I was released eventually. I didn't make the team. And, it was, woe is me. Oh, they didn't choose me. But then I sat back and I wondered, what did I do wrong? What could I have done different? And I figured out there were some things that I wasn't very good at. I wasn't the best shooter, or I wasn't, the best ball handler. So instead of trying to show what I could do, I hid. So if I was the last person in line, they can't see what I'll do wrong, so that way they can't cut me because they won't see I did anything wrong. But that ended up not working out for me, because by me hiding and trying to hide what I couldn't do well, I didn't show what I was able to do well. I didn't show what I was able to bring to the table because I was too worried about what I couldn't bring to the table. So I think that was one of the biggest lessons, because after that point, anywhere I was, I just went all out and was showing what I could do and worked on the things that I couldn't do well and asked for help for the things that I couldn't do well. And that was probably the biggest lesson I learned.
Focus on the positive.
Exactly.
I love it. You also mentioned your transition from high school to college. In your high school, you said you were the best on the court. Came to Fresno State, you had seven
All-Americans,
right?
Yeah.
That you played with, or that were on your team. They maybe shot better than you, they did this, whatever, better than you. So you had to work, right? How did that experience make you a better ball player, make you a better person?
Well, basically, it's competition. You could, I talked about competition as well. You can wither competition and hide from it, or you can compete and try and be the best you can be and get what you can out of it. The instinct I was talking about in that specific instance was I found a niche that other people weren't doing, that our team needed, and that was rebounding. It was like, okay, the coach is always yelling, somebody rebound, we need rebounders, and our best rebounder had recently left. So it's like, okay, this is an opportunity for me to get on the court. I do this well, and this is what our team needs, and if I can score, this is my opportunity to show the team that I can score by being on the court, by doing what the team needs first.
You have the record at Fresno State for most rebounds in a game. Go ahead and tell everyone what that is.
So it's year 2000, so this year to be 20 years old, it'll be this anniversary in February. But in February of 2000, I got 35 rebounds in one game.
Do you remember that game?
I do remember that game.
Did you play? Tell me about it.
We were playing against SMU, and there were a lot of misses. A lot of people were missing. And again, that was my role in the team, to help us win games. And that night, I was just a man possessed. If they talk about playing in a zone, it's not just for scorers. I got 35 rebounds. It's the NCAA record still to this day. Most rebounds in college basketball.